Hi guys, I hope that we're all doing really well. So today I wanted to talk about Middle Eastern fragrances. Now, this video is not typically what you would see when you see a video that says Middle Eastern fragrances, the best Middle Eastern fragrances, because I really wanted to highlight a couple of Middle Eastern brands that come from obviously this region of the world. I live in Dubai, but also not only that, I wanted to talk about more so the scent of the Middle East. Now, all of the fragrances in this list contain a lot of Middle Eastern ingredients, a lot of saffron, some oud, more rich, warm Middle Eastern ingredient. Okay, so these are some fragrances that really remind me of the Middle East. They smell very luxurious, opulent, strong, like powerhouse fragrances. A lot of them have saffron, a lot of them have oud. So let's get into this video. Okay, I think I'm going to start out with one of my personal favorite fragrances in this list. Now, this fragrance is from the Dior private collection, and it is not the fragrance that you would expect. I'm sure a lot of people think I'm going to put Oud Ispahan or Purple Oud, but actually the fragrance that I love the most, and it does remind me of the Middle East, is Santal Noir. Now you can see from my bottle that I wear this fragrance quite a bit, and this is definitely a criminally underrated fragrance from the Dior private blend. I just love this scent. To me, this is quite a Middle Eastern fragrance, but it still feels extremely wearable. So what you're gonna get with Santal Noir is rose, sandalwood, and amberette. So there is definitely a beautiful soft rose in this fragrance, but it doesn't feel too pungent, too traditional. It's a very sensual rose mixed with an overdose of musk and some sandalwood. So it feels quite creamy, almost skin-like in a way. There is a soft, addictive sweetness, and the rose is just so beautiful in here. You also get maybe a touch of something smoky in a way, but not overly so. This fragrance to me smells sensual. If I had to choose like a word to associate with this scent, it would be sensual. The ingredients would make you think that this is a lot more intense and strong and overpowering, but honestly, it's not at all. It's this beautiful, slightly Middle Eastern rose that feels quite skin-like and very sensual and addictive on the skin. I love this fragrance. I cannot say enough good things about it. It is absolutely phenomenal. Longevity projection is great as well. On my skin, I get around 7 hours of really good wear with this one, with a beautiful projection as well. So I just love this fragrance. I feel like it's the dark horse from Dior, and I love it so much, really. It is a beautiful fragrance and also very easy to wear. I can wear this fragrance in the heat. I can wear it when the weather cools down. I can wear this fragrance anytime for me, so I love it so much. Okay, so the next fragrance is newer to my collection, and I have smelled this fragrance on a specific person that I know very well. She's a close friend of mine, and I smell this on her all the time, and I always compliment her. She smells incredible when she wears this fragrance, and it is a newer release. So this is Reinvented Lucid Dream. Now, this is the bottle if you guys have never seen it before, and this is such a beautiful Middle Eastern type of scent because you have a lot of saffron and oud in here, but it's super smooth, really smooth, kind of creamy in a way, slightly sweet and addictive, and it's just beautiful, you guys. Yeah, I'm smelling it right here. Now, what you have, of course, is the saffron in here. You do definitely feel the saffron, a little bit of that oud coming through. But like I said, something in this fragrance, I think it's the sandalwood, it kind of rounds out the fragrance and makes it feel a little bit more creamy and approachable. You also have a little bit of a fruity aspect from some plum and raspberry, but it's not in an overly sweet, like annoying way, because sometimes the combination of saffron, oud, and fruits can smell very like pungent and just too much to me. In Lucid Dream, it's very smooth and kind of creamy in a way with an addictive sweetness. And you also have some florals in here. You have rose, I think jasmine as well, maybe. But I really mostly get a very smooth saffron with a little bit of this sweetness and a nice creamy woodiness as well. It is absolutely beautiful. I only recently got it, so I haven't had much of a chance to test it out properly, but I really recommend you guys checking this one out. I have smelled it on my friend like many times, and every time I smell her wearing this scent, I always tell her she smells really good. So Lucid Dream from Reinvented, a new fragrance that I think a lot of people are going to fall in love with because it really has that Middle Eastern DNA, but not too much to the point where it feels unwearable. Because some Middle Eastern fragrances that have a lot of saffron and oud, you kind of feel like they're exclusively for the winter and not for the summer. However, this fragrance, Lucid Dream, I feel like you could get away with this one in the summertime. Really beautiful fragrance from Reinvented. This fragrance is absolutely amazing. I think in terms of a more Middle Eastern rose, this is really beautifully done. This is Cairo from Penhaligon. I have a little baby bottle right here, but it is gorgeous, you guys. I was also considering to put in this video Constantinople, I think it's called, and that fragrance is stunning too, but I do feel like Cairo smells more Middle Eastern, more opulent, and this fragrance is amazing. You have a lot of rose, saffron, patchouli, vanilla. It is absolutely incredible. Incredible, you guys. A beautiful, rich, plush, dark rose with lots of patchouli, a beautiful saffron note, and in the dry down you feel that kind of woody patchouli with vanilla coming through even more. It is absolutely incredible, a standout fragrance in terms of that more darker rose profile. This fragrance is absolutely beautiful, but you definitely have to like rose, you have to like patchouli, you have to like saffron to enjoy this fragrance because it's very rich and opulent, but in the best way possible. I think it is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. So Cairo from Penhaligon's, I definitely recommend this one. It lasts on my skin around 8 hours or so with a really nice production too. It is gorgeous. If this is too much for you, I would recommend trying Constantinople. It's a bit more smooth. It's not the same profile exactly, but you do feel this kind of woody, floral with a bit of sweetness. Constantinople is a bit more approachable. This is a little bit more heavy duty, but it is absolutely incredible. So the next fragrance is probably one of the more popular fragrances in the region right now. I know a lot of people wearing this scent, and also I've smelled it so much in Dubai recently. Like I feel like every other person is wearing this scent right now, and it is Amouage Purpose 50. So if you actually want to know what people in Dubai are wearing, it's Purpose 50 right now, or Purpose just the original. But I feel like people are really tending to favor the Purpose 50 over the original because it's a little bit more sweet, it's a little bit more dense. It is just incredible. I didn't show you guys the bottle, but it is gorgeous. Now, I know that this is a very expensive fragrance, so be careful with this one. It is probably the most dangerous blind buy that you could ever make in your life. Like, this fragrance is extremely artistic, and it's going to be a love or a hate. And for a long time, I didn't really like this DNA, to be honest with you guys. This Purpose DNA, vetiver, kind of smoky, creamy, woody, like nutty, pepper. Like, I just didn't really like it. However, the Purpose 50, after smelling it so many times and smelling it on so many different people, I found myself being really intrigued by this DNA. And honestly, if I could speak objectively, I would say that Purpose, this line, like Purpose and Purpose 50, are some of the most creative fragrances I've smelled in a very long time. And I think they are beautifully created. This fragrance is quite woody, quite resinous. You have a little bit of an addictive sweetness in the Purpose 50. I think you have vanilla in here. It's very woody to me. I definitely pick up some vetiver in here. You get a little bit of suede, some spice, the Amouage signature resinous kind of DNA, and then you have some rose in Purpose 50 and also a little bit of vanilla for an addictive sweetness. But it's such a rich fragrance. Like, it is such a rich fragrance. And to me personally, it reminds me of my travels to Oman, where Amouage is from. And it really reminds me of Oman. Like, I don't know how they did it, but this to me is the scent of Oman. It's resinous, it's woody, it's dark, it's rich, it's just phenomenal, you guys. Like really, this is a special fragrance, but once again, not for everyone. I think it would be a very challenging and difficult fragrance for most people. But actually saying that, there's so many people that wear it, so maybe it's not, or maybe it's just me, but I find this fragrance to be really artistic and beautiful, and definitely a Middle Eastern type of scent. People are going crazy for Purpose 50 at the moment in Dubai. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous fragrance from Amouage. So this next fragrance is mind-blowing to me, you guys, like mind-blowingly good. I really urge all of you guys to go out and try this fragrance if you love that really dark, sweet saffron, just rich DNA. I really, really recommend that you check it out. It's also borderline gourmand, so I feel like a lot of people are going to love it. This fragrance is spectacular. This is Caden from Oman Luxury. Now, when I smelled this fragrance for the first time, I immediately was like, oh, that DNA kind of reminds me of a lot of different things. A sweet, creamy, rich saffron with some gourmand touches, etc. No. In terms of that DNA, I like to call it the Jordi Fernandez DNA because I feel like he's always creating fragrances with saffron, tonka, and like praline. But that's what Pierre and I, we nicknamed this DNA. But this is the best that I've tried. This is incredible, you guys. What you have in Caden is tonka, saffron, you have a boozy note in here, you have coffee. I don't even know what else. I need to check on sniff. You also have labdanum, benzoin, suede, some wood. It is incredible, you guys. Like, it is incredible. Immediately when I first tried it, I thought it kind of reminded me of everything, but actually no, there is something that makes Caden stand out. And I'm not really sure what it is. It feels very like layered. There is so much going on here. The tonka, the coffee, the booziness, the saffron, the cardamom. It is just wow. You also have a nice warm amberiness in the base, which brings a lot of depth and warmth to the fragrance. It's sweet, but not overly sweet. That saffron brings a little bit of something leathery and smoky, and the cardamom brings something a little bit spicy in the top. It is really a phenomenal fragrance, you guys. Absolutely phenomenal. If you like that DNA of the warm, rich saffron scents with tonka and some gourmand touches, I beg you to try this fragrance because I think it might be your favorite that you've ever smelled. This DNA is kind of like played out now, but honestly, you guys, Caden is the best that I ever tried. So really recommend this one. It is incredible, and the longevity, the projection, this is such a powerhouse fragrance as well. Okay, next up is an iconic fragrance, and I remember because I've had this bottle for many, many years. When I was starting like fragrance reviewing on social media, this fragrance really started to gain a lot of love from the fragrance community back in the day. I feel like nobody talks about this fragrance anymore because it's been on the market for quite a long time. But if you are somebody who loves fragrances, you need to know this fragrance. This is Rose d'Arabie from Armani Privé. Now, my bottle is really old, but it did not affect the juice. The juice feels even better. And this is another really gorgeous, very woody, pungent, strong rose fragrance. Very much rose dominant. It is one of the most beautiful, opulent roses ever. And it is just gorgeous. You have a really rich, dark rose with lots of patchouli, a lot of woodiness, and some saffron as well. So overall, the character of the fragrance is strong, powerful, rose, patchouli, wood, saffron. I already said saffron. It's just a beautiful, beautiful rose. Not really any sweetness. It's more of like a dry character that comes through in this fragrance. The rose is just beautiful. It's like almost like a scary rose fragrance to me. It is stunning. If you like things like Portrait of a Lady, even Cairo from Penhaligons, you might like Rose d'Arabie. It's just a stunning, stunning rose and really iconic. Like, you need to know this fragrance if you love perfume, because this, I remember like when I started, it was really like a special fragrance and everyone was falling in love with Rose d'Arabie when I started out this journey. my god, this fragrance, you guys, I only got recently into my collection. And I am surprised that not more people are talking about this scent. If you like oud, you really need to try Maison Kurkdjian Oud Extrait de Parfum. Not Oud Satin Mood, not the others. Oud Extrait from MFK is probably one of the best oud forward fragrances that I've put my nose on in a very long time. This is truly spectacular. Yes, the price is outrageous, so I understand why it's not more popular because it's really not accessible. But the quality of this fragrance, the complexity is shocking. Like, it is incredible. What you have is a really rich, smooth, dark oud with lots of vanilla. Actually, I feel like there's quite a beautiful smooth sweetness in here. You also have some amberette, which brings like a musky sweetness. I need to check what else on sniff. You also have some resins in here. You have elemi and patchouli and saffron. But to me, this is a really beautiful, slightly resinous, very smooth, soft, sweet oud. The oud is like the star of the show here, but it's softened out with that vanilla, the amberette, and you do get a little bit of that resinous touch from the elemi. It is spectacular, like truly spectacular. I know that I said that about Caden, but Caden is a different profile. If you're looking for like a beautiful, really opulent oud, try Oud Extrait from MFK. It is absolutely stunning. I also recently got Oud Silk Mood, which is another one that I feel like gets a lot less hype, a lot less buzz. I feel like on social media, everyone just likes Oud Satin Mood, but the whole entire oud collection is actually really beautiful from MFK, especially Oud Extrait. It is 12 out of 10, beast mode fragrance, like crazy, you guys. It is really, really very special. Okay guys, so the next fragrance is from the Merchant of Venice, and this fragrance I have spoken about. It is Venezia 21. Now, talking about like the Jordi Fernandez DNA, Jordi Fernandez is the perfumer behind this scent, and this is such a gorgeous, creamy, rich, sweet, woody saffron fragrance. It is incredible, and on sniff, it's actually one of the highest rated fragrances on our app. People love this fragrance. They are crazy about this fragrance, and I totally understand why. This has that beautiful kind of gourmand-esque saffron DNA, but it's done so well. I do feel like there is a subtle similarity with Caden, but they're absolutely different enough to own both, and I would tell you guys honestly my thoughts on that. For me personally, I think I prefer Caden, but only just a tiny bit. But the Merchant of Venice Venezia 21 is absolutely stunning. You have praline, you have oud, saffron, tonka, some resins. It is really a phenomenal fragrance. If you like more of that kind of Middle Eastern profile, but very smooth, subtly sweet, really strong and powerful, you're going to love Venezia 21. It really is a gorgeous DNA. So I actually have a lot of this type of fragrance in my collection. And if I could only recommend you guys like the best of the best, Venezia 21 and Caden, they smell very different. Don't get me wrong, I already compared them side by side because I wanted to see if they were similar. They smell very different. I feel like there is absolutely room to own both of them. And like I said, I think maybe because it's newer to my collection, I really love Caden. And I would say Caden, it has a little bit more of like the booziness, the coffee, the sweetness, whereas Venezia, it's a little bit more woody, a little bit more saffron. Yeah, but I love them both. I recommend them both, and yeah, definitely try both of them. Okay, so next up, we needed to have a very strong rose oud leather fragrance in this video. And probably you think I'm going to talk about Ombre Nomad, which I'm not. I was going to originally put it in this list, but I decided to highlight something else from my collection that I really feel like is an incredible rose oud with leather. Very high quality, really potent, that I think a lot of you guys would love if you love Ombre Nomad. This is Nana from Nishane. This fragrance, you guys, is absolutely nuclear. absolutely nuclear, really amazing. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys, it's not a fragrance that I wear because it's very, very strong. It's very potent. The rose, the oud, the leather, it is incredible. I have to say that, like, absolutely incredible. But myself, I prefer Nefs, for instance, which has a little bit more of that softness, a bit of sweetness, a bit of booziness. But Manor, if you like Ombre Nomade from Louis Vuitton, I don't see why you wouldn't love Manor. This is absolutely incredible. It's dry. It's very woody. It's actually suede that you have in here, not leather. It's this beautiful kind of smoky, like soft leathery vibe mixed with the rose and oud. It is just gorgeous. Like, this smells to me like wealth. It smells like somebody who really wants you to know that they have a lot of money, which you need to be able to afford this fragrance because it's so expensive. But it is just incredible, you guys. Like, really, the quality, everything about the scent is beautiful. But like I said, it's not something that I personally wear a lot because it's so powerful. Okay, and finally, the last fragrance is completely different to the other fragrances that I've mentioned in this video, yet it's very relevant to this video because whenever I smell local women, a lot of local women, they have very classic taste, but also I find that a lot of local women smell like this. This is Emirati Musk from Kindal Oud. Now, this fragrance is so gorgeous, you guys. So gorgeous. What you have is dates, vanilla, and musk. But there is something kind of indolic in this fragrance. Like, I feel like they're obviously not sharing all of the notes that are in here because there is definitely something kind of indolic going on. Almost a tiny bit like animalic in a way, but in a very subtle way, don't get me wrong. But this fragrance smells so incredible. I remember I was at Mall of the Emirates in Dubai, and I actually started following this local woman who was walking in front of me, and she smelled exactly like this. And I was almost gonna ask her what her fragrance was, but I ended up getting a little bit too shy and didn't ask her. But she smelled exactly like this fragrance. And I smell a lot of local women and they smell like this. That sounded really weird. I smell a lot of local women, but whenever I pass them at the mall, I'm walking behind them. So I'm always like observing like what type of fragrances that they're wearing. And this is the type of DNA that I've smelled like coming up quite a lot. So Emirati Musk is a little bit indolic, almost like there could be an indolic jasmine in here mixed with vanilla, dates, and musk. And it is just so incredible and addictive, you guys. Like, I love it. I don't think it would be for everyone because of that indolic touch, but it is just a beautiful, beautiful fragrance. So I really recommend this one, especially to women. If you come to Dubai, go and smell this brand and this fragrance specifically, because this is really what a lot of local women smell like to me. Emirati Musk. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think of my list. As somebody that is actually living in the Middle East since a few years now, I feel like all of the fragrances that I mentioned, I have smelled in the malls, on people, at the airport. Like, I smell these type of scents around me all the time. So I really feel like all of the fragrances that I mentioned were a good representation of like the Middle East to me. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed the video and I will talk to you soon. Oh, and also let me know if you want me to do a video on what people in Dubai actually wear, because I mean, Purpose 50 is one of them, but mostly I smell and I talk to people that wear a lot of designer fragrances actually. So it's kind of unassuming, like it's not what you think. Yeah. Let me know if you want that video, and thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.